Hey guys, Chain Gear here, bringing another video, and today we are back with GearCast episode 10. I know it's been a while, and let's get started with some apologies like we always do.
We're not one that avoids tradition, especially now that we reach episode 10. Yay!
Episode 10, which is our first episode of January, not to mention our first episode of 2016, period.
Yes.
Which is a big deal.
Did you enjoy Holla at Your Holidays? Because I sure did.
Holla at Your Holidays. That was a fun time. I enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope subscribers out there, the viewers out there, enjoyed Holla at Your Holidays, enjoyed GearCast episode 9. That was a lot of fun for us. It was really cool to see each other and be in the same space. But like I said, let's kick this off with some apologies just to get some stuff out of the way. First of all, I know I have not been online recently. For those that play with me online or for those that have watched my content, has not been a lot of Chain Gear gaming content up, has not been a lot of Chain Gear online, and that's because I recently just got over pretty big sickness. Thank you, by the way, Vampire Peaches, for making that quick sick video, just talking about how I was sick for a while and GearCast wasn't up and all that stuff.
What happened was that Chain Gear was on his way to Cyrodiil. He was on his way to the main city, to the market square. He got bitten by a wolf, got the rickets, got the blood plague.
For all those that don't understand what he's saying, these are all Elder Scrolls reference. Oblivion, which, by the way, I did start playing again, which we could talk about later. But
hardware rivals. I'm excited to talk about that too.
Yeah, okay, cool. But yeah, I was sick, guys. I had strep throat. And anytime I have something that has to do with my respiratory system or anything with my throat or anything, I also have asthma and allergies, and it all kind of starts acting up and it gets all crazy. And my first time I got sick or had to go to the doctor in Chicago, so I had to find a doctor and I had to go find a pharmacist, and it was all crazy. And I had a new roommate, and so there's just a lot of craziness going on. And so I apologize.
Mom drags you to a dentist appointment. Be appreciative that you don't have to deal with that stuff by yourself like we do.
Yeah, no joke. Right. When your mom or dad or guardian or whatever, or brother or sister or anyone, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, takes you to the dentist or the doctor, especially when you're really sick and you need to go to the hospital or something like that, be thankful. Seriously, that stuff is not fun to do by yourself. My roommate helped me out a little bit. Shout out to my roommate.
Won't be able to be like that forever. There's no Pac-Man in my doctor's office.
No, there's nothing in my doctor's office. They just look at you all funny and like, give me your insurance card. I'm like, what's insurance? And I give them my insurance card. Anyway, so it's all crazy, but I appreciate you guys and thank you so much for understanding. I had a couple people, giving me a couple shout outs saying, get better, feel well. Shout out to DJ or Dad Mujica. It's been a while since I've heard from that guy. Used to be part of the clan, but he's been on hiatus for a long time, probably 6 months or more. So it was good to see him, in the comments. Of course, Smoke Wild, you also gave me a shout out. I appreciate that. I'm feeling a lot better, if you guys can't tell. Still a little under the weather, but I'm way better than I was before. So, and hopefully this topic will get us going. Unfortunately, we did record this once before. And
so good. I'm so pissed.
It was good. But we had some sound quality issues, and you guys know how we do. We're not trying to. If it's super low quality, it's got to be good. You know what I mean? It isn't. Sometimes it's not always great, and that's because we're rushing and we have to get it out. But it's got to be good, and it wasn't good. You could barely hear it. I didn't want to put it out there, and it just wasn't good content. So we decided to wait, and then I got sick. And so, it all kind of tumbled together. But we're not stopping, guys. We're not stopping. We'll never stop doing GearCast. Even if we don't get it out on time, we will try our best to get it out. And today, unfortunately, because we recorded this a week ago, is the 14th of January. And so we're going to go...
My little sister.
Say it again?
Shout out to her.
Say that one more time.
It's my little sister's birthday today.
Oh, nice.
10 years old.
Little Peaches. Little VP.
She's the pit.
Lil VP, the pit. All right. Yeah. So that's cool. But it is the 14th of January. PlayStation Plus came out. That's always exciting for you PlayStation 4 people out there. You got a pretty cool game called Hardware Rivals. We also got, what was the other game that came out?
The Grim Fandango is for free on Vita and PS4.
Grim Fandango. There's one other, isn't there? For PS4?
I don't
Pretty sure
know.
there is. I'm pretty sure there is one more. But either way, if you guys are interested in PlayStation Plus and the games that are coming out, let us know in the comment section below. Myself and Vampire Peaches can maybe do some mini reviews or even just do a PlayStation Plus video. Maybe every single month we can do that for you guys. Aside from GearCast.
What's the popular review type thing that you've done so far? That's hysterical.
Wait, for what game?
Kitten Squad.
Ah, Kitten Squad. Kitten Squad. That's my jam. Kitten Squad's my jam. Watch that video if you guys haven't seen the Kitten Squad review. But yeah, go ahead and you guys do you. Let us know if you guys are interested in seeing that kind of information. Otherwise, you guys know how we do it here. We do releases first, and let's just jump right in. As you guys know, it's been a while, so we're gonna be doing basically all of January. Basically all. I think it might be all of January. No, not all of January. There's 1 week of January we won't do, but from the 19th down, January 19th down, I'm going to talk about all the games that are coming out. We're going to go pretty quick through these. If you guys are interested in any of these, want to learn more, let me know in the comment section below, and we'll do whatever we can to get you guys this information. There are some I know I'm already going to do videos on. Maybe we'll see some more Chain Gear Gaming, other Chain Gear Gaming members. Also, shout out to Ballistic Phoenix. He's been having some huge internet issues. He lives with his grandparents and is moving around, trying to finish up school. And it's been really difficult for him recently, and he's always working. So I just kind of wanted to give him a shout out. I didn't want people to think that he made his Welcome to Warframe videos and just dipset. He's really, really busy. And so shout out to him. Feel free to leave comments talking about, hey, good luck, and get on your grind with all that good stuff, finish up college and all that. But yeah, it's been pretty tough for him as well. I just wanted to put that out there. Peaches and I have a little bit more freedom currently, and so we're trying to do our best to put videos out for you guys. But Phoenix has been pretty busy. But anyway, back to the releases of January. The first release date was January 5th, and there were 3 games that came out. Nitro Plus Blasters, Heroines Infinite Duel. This is a anime fighting game. So if you guys are interested in anime, interested in fighting games, that's definitely one to check out. Hardware Rivals. This is a big one. Came out free for PlayStation Plus. I actually have some beta footage of me playing the game. I had a lot of fun playing it. Peaches, you said that you had just played this game, correct?
Yes, it's like if you smush Mad Max, Borderlands, together in terms of the aesthetic. It's just car combat, and it's fun.
Yeah, I would say the aesthetic is a little different. It's not cell shaded. It's just kind of 3D Lego blocks. But I would just say it's pretty much Twisted Metal or something. The Destruction Derby is
that's better way of describing it.
Yeah, I mean the Destruction Derby is just. There hasn't been a Destruction Derby game in a while. I think with the release and the success of course, what is that game? I can't think of it now. Rocket League. Obviously, huge success. Hardware Rivals definitely has a chance to now kind of piggyback off of that. Oh, cars are in games again, and they're not just racing. Hardware Rivals, I definitely had a fun time playing it. So that's one game that came out January 5th. Amplitude is another game that came out January 5th. There is a video coming out on Amplitude from me. I love that game. It is a lot of fun. It's from Harmonix, and they make awesome sound games and stuff like that. I mean, you guys know the Harmonix. I believe they're the ones that made Rock Band, Guitar Hero, all that good stuff. If not, sorry, but they make music games. And instead of having an instrument or something, you use your controller and you have a little spaceship. And there are 3 things that you're trying to hit. But there are all these different parts of the music, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. I love rhythm games, and it was a lot of fun. What was that, Peaches?
That sounds good to me in the sense that I love rhythm games, but I hate buying peripherals. I had enough buying these guitars, I've had enough buying drums, I had enough buying microphones, so this sounds really right up my alley. And I'm going to get Persona 4 Dancing All Night eventually, but for now, Amplitude sounds more up my alley.
Yeah, Amplitude was a lot of fun. The demo is out, so anyone that wants to see the demo, of course, you can watch my video to see if it's even worth downloading it, which I can tell you right now probably is. Definitely hit up that demo. I don't know if there's multiplayer or anything like that, but it's definitely going to be a lot of fun to try and, beat people's score. And I mean, it was a lot of fun to kind of get back into that. Yeah, let's play a rhythm game and just kind of have fun and not really have to worry about all of these stories and all of this leveling and stuff. You just beat the levels and have fun. January 11th.
Releases though, in terms of demos that you can play, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2. The open beta is out today.
Oh, I heard about that. Actually, how about you talk a little bit about Plants vs Zombies, because I know that was one of your top videos, or one of your top games. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, one of my most anticipated games is Garden Warfare 2, just because like this shows off what an online only multiplayer game should be. So how many of you are tired of playing for $60 games, Battlefront, for not a lot of content, Battlefront, for it doesn't have microtransactions, but like not a really bang for your buck joke single player bot modes. Okay, what I'm saying is that I'm tired of Battlefront. Battlefront is awful. Wait for it to be like $20-$30 for you to buy it. Plants vs Zombies is the prime example of what a multiplayer only game should be. Tons of content, tons of fun, easy to get into, and it actually has it's not trying to be more than it already is. Basically, I was just saying that I love Plants vs Zombies because it shows what multiplayer only games should be. Reasonably priced, crap ton of content, crap ton of fun, a lot of diversity in classes and playstyle, and it's not Battlefront.
Yeah, fair enough.
The thing is, I've been playing for that game for like an hour and a half today, because I was just like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and play some Star Wars because I was in a Star Wars mood because I've been watching the Clone Wars. Not a good cartoon, but it's fine. So I was playing it, and I just got more and more upset because I've been playing Call of Duty, and that has a lot of content for its multiplayer base. Mm-hmm. Much better content, actual robust single player content, and I'm like, there's no excuse for why Battlefront has this amount for $60. So Garden Warfare 2, it's zany, it's cartoony, it's a lot of fun, to get into. Everything that you've unlocked, if you own Garden Warfare, the previous one, all of it is unlocked from the get-go for you to own. So if you already have like all the skins and all the like aesthetics that you like grinded to unlock or whatever, all of it's going to carry into the second game. When was the last time I saw that? Do you that's a genuine question for you, Chain Gear. When was the last time you saw a game that carried over all of your unlockables from the first game to the sequel?
Nothing in my recent memory.
I mean, Little Big Planet has its DLC.
Okay. Well, Little Big Planet was insane. They would take everything over. Otherwise, I can't think of anything. I mean, I can't even think of a game that has a sequel. A sequel type of game that you'd even be able to drag things over. Like Call of Duty, you don't like that. Doesn't make any sense really. I mean, I guess you could continue progression system, and then you lose the whole point of it. So
you didn't earn your golden SMG from playing a previous game. You have to get the new one. So it's interesting, but no, I would definitely recommend playing the open beta today, just because, like, if you watch these videos, it's huge, it's gigantic. Like, there's just so much stuff, so many new characters, so many new maps, so many new modes, and I'm like, I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait.
Yeah, no, I love open betas. I love alphas and that kind of stuff. I don't know how much I'm gonna love this game necessarily. I'm not a huge fan, as you know before. There are some key elements in a shooter that I need, and if you can't sprint, I have an issue. So the customization isn't like super high. It's a fun game, definitely a fun game. I feel like maybe it's one of those games I need to play with a specific group. But anyway, I'll definitely give it a shot. You guys heard it here. Make sure you download that open beta. But let's get back to the releases. So have those games, the 3 games that I just mentioned. On the 11th, a game called Dogchild came out. Never heard of this before, so I'm gonna open it real quick and see what it is.
Story to Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Dogchild narrates a story of a young, eccentric, or enigmatic, I don't even know, brave guy, extraordinary talent, strong sensory union. I have no idea what this is. It looks like it's an exploration game with a guy and his dog. And I'll be honest with you, it looks really bad. The cutscenes look pretty clutch, but nothing I would, spend too much time or money on looking at. So Dogchild, that came out January 11th. January 12th, 2 games came out. A game called Thrasis. A game called Thrasis came out, and Assassin's Creed Chronicles India came out. We've talked about this before, but me and myself and Vampire Peaches aren't huge Assassin's Creed fans. But
I see reviews, just average.
Yeah, I mean, the Chronicles is a completely different Assassin's Creed game. It's, what is it, side-scrolling, able to tell another story, another Assassin's Creed story, without creating another huge AAA game. And so, obviously, this one takes place in India, so that's kind of cool.
Really interesting for one reason only. When the Russia one comes out in a couple months, the entire trilogy will be released on Vita. So then I'll give a crap. Like, oh, sweet, I have another new little stealth side scroller to have on my Vita. So boom.
Yeah, so that sounds. I mean, that's cool, right? I mean, definitely probably has a better place there anyway.
Totally, I totally agree.
Yeah, and on the Vita. But this Therasis thing that I'm finding here, it seems like it's a kind of ship builder or ship maintenance kind of game. Maybe there's also a mystery going on as well.
I'm gonna look this up right now because that sounds really cool. I do like management games.
A mysterious signal originating from the Therasis region of Mars set us on a frantic mission. Who sent it and why? Impossible questions, but in them lie the key to humanity's survival. And it seems like, I'm just looking through these pictures, and it seems like there's a lot of kind of management stuff where you're researching specific projects, working on different modules, and I'm guessing you're trying to get to this place and figure out some questions. So that's interesting. That came out on the 12th. Another really big one for those that are interested in this kind of stuff. The Banner Saga, which is a narrative RPG. The RPG elements being more of a tactical RPG. It's extremely highly rated, very very highly rated, critically acclaimed. And definitely going to be excited to get this. I heard that this was supposed to come out on Vita. I don't know if it will. I definitely think it would be awesome to see on Vita, but right now it's on PlayStation 4. Say that again. Say that again, Peaches.
I have no doubt it's going to be on Vita.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it was supposed to come out on Vita a while ago. This game's kind of not old, but it came out a while ago. And so to finally see it on PlayStation is going to be great. It was a Kickstarter project, beautiful art style. I will probably be getting this game, not now because I have a ton of other games to play, but the Banner Saga, definitely an interesting game that came out just yesterday. But now what's more important, not the games that already came out. You guys probably already know about those, or maybe you didn't, but so the ones you already were going to get, you probably already got, is next week. Next week is the games that we want to talk about. And that is January 19th. Yes, January 19th. And there are a lot of games coming out on the 19th. Just going to run through these quickly. Resident Evil Oranges. Resident Evil.
Chris, come on.
Resident Evil Origins collection, which I'm assuming just has a whole bunch of the older, Origin.
Typically, which Resident Evil games are in it? Is it Zero?
Sure, I can go ahead and look it up real quick. I mean, it's right here. Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil Zero have returned. It's just those two. So Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil Zero.
And what's the price point?
I have no idea. Let's check it.
Because that sounds great.
That's the only unfortunate thing about releases.com. I do love releases.com, but it doesn't always show like pricing and stuff. Not that it really needs to, I guess. It's not really, pricing's different everywhere kind of thing, but the MRSP or whatever pricing is $40.
That's not bad at all.
$40. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan, but if you guys are interested, bam. The next one is Inside My Radio, which I believe is a smaller indie title, which is also for PC and Xbox One, but is now coming out for PlayStation 4. And it seems like it's kind of just a bit of a side scroller, musical side scroller. So kind of like Sound Shapes.
Oh, I was thinking it was the Tim Schafer thing where it's like it was previewed at PSX or E3. Where it's like you have this like diorama of like a radio or something that you can explore, you flip around and you solve puzzles on it. This is published by Double Fine, but this isn't it.
No, definitely not it. I'm looking at like a little video now, and it just seems like it's a little cube thing that's jump, dash, or smash your way through the rhythm. So, another kind of rhythm title where, you're side scrolling and stuff like that. I love those. I love music titles where there's still gameplay involved and you're not just like playing an instrument or something. So that was pretty cool. Another one is Life is Strange Limited Edition. I'm assuming that this is probably the full, all of the chapters of Life is Strange, episodes 1 through 5. Yeah, so probably the full season or something. And I have not played Life is Strange at all. Square Enix, that's kind of their, I think they're the ones that published it, but kind of their Telltale experience. I believe it's by Don't Nod Entertainment developer.
Be your contender for a lot of outlets.
Also, it seems like this is now on all consoles. So it was exclusive on PS4, right?
PS4, PC, I think.
Yeah, and so now this limited edition, I think, is now for everyone. So that's interesting.
Not everybody will be able to enjoy it.
So there's also A Boy and His Blob, which I believe is
good, didn't it?
I'm not sure. It didn't come out for PlayStation 4, I guess, but it's a very interesting art style. Not something I've seen before, so I don't think so. You may be thinking about a different Blob game. There's a couple Blob games.
A little white blob that can turn into different objects. It's like a platformer.
Oh yeah, that's it. But it didn't come out. It comes out in 4 days. So maybe it came out on PC or something, or maybe it's a re-release
or something.
Yeah, so it's a 2009 cult classic apparently, and now it's being released on the PS4. I've never even heard of it, but yep, that's coming out on PS4. The Deadly Tower of Monsters, that is coming out as well on the 19th. No idea what this game is about either. It seems very interesting art style. Seems like it's a kind of like a twin stick shooter. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, it seems like a really intense twin stick shooter. Wow. Definitely give this a check. Definitely give this a look if you guys are interested. It seems like you're literally just going through a tower and there are these massive monsters and creatures and stuff like that. So looks like they're like very like movie oriented dinosaurs, King Kong looking guys, robots. So that'll be very, very, or maybe you are a robot, but definitely very, very interesting. Fire up your ray guns, crystal swords, laser whips, and get ready for thrills and chills. Be amazed by the state-of-the-art effects, including stop motion. Okay, a whole bunch of movie stuff. B-level sci-fi exploits. I think it's supposed to be kind of this comedy about the sci-fi monster genre, and you're kind of going through and killing all these monsters. So that sounds like a lot of fun.
So something that you would say is like, you probably know about this because you're a massive nerd. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if you read it, you'd get it, kind of stuff. But I don't know. I'm sure you've never heard of it, right?
No, but I'm just talking about the in terms of the references.
The movie stuff, yeah. So Resident Evil 0 HD Remastered is also coming out. I'm assuming that's part of that Origins pack. A game called Stardust Vanguards is coming out. Get your friends and bust out the controllers. Stardust Vanguards is a local 4-player dueling game inspired by old school anime space operas, combining arcade-style battling with the ability to summon your own NPC army for support. That sounds pretty cool.
That sounds familiar. Like, I'm pretty sure Vanguard is the new card game that the kids are playing, and in terms of like, we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, it's not that. It's not that at all.
So it doesn't belong to that franchise. It's just a separate tactical game for you to play with your friends.
I don't think that these are connected in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
I think this is some indie game where you're robots. You're just humans flying in robots, and you can like spawn enemies. Like it looks extremely indie. The art style is definitely interesting. Looks extremely hectic. But it's that 4-player co-op
multiplayer games.
Right. Any local co-op is always a lot of fun. So definitely a game to take a look at. And then lastly, there is a game called Klaus, which is a pretty big deal because I heard it is really big on the narrative front. And I think I remember seeing this maybe at PSX or something, where you're a guy, you're just kind of a guy named Klaus. Let me read this. Klaus is lost and alone. Who, where, why? He knows nothing. Only you can help him find the truth. Join Klaus in K1, a friendly brute, as you navigate this precision-based puzzle platformer through a geometric kaleidoscope of pop art and high contrast worlds.
Real, yeah.
Yeah, it was. You said the sizzle reel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing it at some point. And there's definitely, I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with this kind of narrative focus, but definitely looks pretty cool. So those are all the games coming out that have come out and the games that are coming out on January 19th. I know that was a lot, guys. You know I don't like doing that, but that's just kind of how it goes. And next week, we will talk about the week of, we'll probably get this on the 21st. Next week, we will talk about all the games coming out on the week of the 25th. And there will be, it seems like two separate dates, the 26th and the 29th. So get ready for that. And apparently there are a whole bunch of, or not a whole bunch, but at least 6 games that are supposed to come out as well in January that have not been given actual release dates. Probably not going to come out, but we'll have to see. So yeah, those are the releases. So you guys know how it is. Like I said, we go through releases. That's part 1. And then next we go through a little bit of news. So this is kind of anything that myself or Vampire Peaches have found, kind of just scouring the internet, things that kind of popped up on our brains and things like that. We already mentioned PlayStation Plus. That came out. And like I said, I'll talk to you guys about that if you're interested in a separate video. But CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, happened this week as well. And there was a little bit of news coming out of CES about VR, for example. There was nothing else about PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that. Not even in the multimedia space, and I'm not really super surprised. Nothing really new is coming out there. But in terms of VR, there is a lot of news that has kind of come out of there. Well, for one specific VR manufacturer. But before we get into that, because I could talk about that for a while, Peaches, you had some interesting news that you wanted to share as well, correct?
Yeah, and it's something that directly affects you and me as fans of the Hitman franchise. This literally just happened. So if anybody digitally pre-ordered Hitman, the reboot, well, the pseudo reboot, retelling of Hitman franchise, all pre-orders have been recalled and redacted and have been canceled. And now, here's an article from VG 24/7. Hitman will now be released episodically, starting with the Paris location in March. So the game will now be released as a quote-unquote truly episodic AAA game experience with a major live component. Now, let me give you a direct quote from someone from that made the game. From public statement. We decided to take the full leap and publish Hitman as a truly episodic game experience, says Hannah Seyfert, studio head. Part of that decision is for that little bit of extra time to ensure every location we release is at the quality level fitting for a Hitman game. But the main driving reason is that this will allow us to create a living game that will expand and evolve over time and establish a foundation for the future. This is the first game in a storyline which will continue and expand with future Hitman games. So, each one... So, a new intro pack now contains prologue and Paris levels and will release at the new price of $15 or the regional equivalent. Each subsequent location will be priced at $10 as an add-on item to the intro pack. Thoughts, please? That you'll be seeing not as frequently.
Now I love me some Hitman.
So do I.
I love me some Hitman. Hitman is a big franchise for me. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the last one, Hitman. What was that? Absolution.
We
Hitman
loved
Absolution.
Had
a lot of fun.
Control me with his garbage maps that I couldn't beat.
What I'm excited for, this is very interesting news. $15 is not a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that is a good price.
But right, I mean, $15 is not a lot.
$10 after each one.
Right. I mean, let's say, who knows how much. I think we got to see it. I don't really think there's anything I can say besides I got to see it. It's weird because I don't know how many people. Hitman is a game. It's been coming out forever. You buy the $60 game, you play it. The last one, you bought the $60 game and you played it, and the DLC was like weapon packs or like skins. Whatever. This episodic thing is going to be interesting because let's say you buy Paris, right?
It involves the prologue and Paris.
So you play the prologue, which is going to be like, oh yeah, this is how you play the game, and this is Agent 47, and let's get everything started. And then you play, and then Paris is what I assume. Once you open up the game, a world map will show up, and it'll be like Paris, and you can go to Paris. Like if you're playing Battlefront 2, not this new one, Dagobah, Tatooine, Dagobah, that kind of thing. Yeah, anytime you select a map, right? And so you go over to Paris, and you click on Paris, and you go to Paris, and Paris is big. That's I'm okay with that. If Paris is big,
big map that we saw in the preview. So like the main thing of why I'm not concerned yet is because, well, A, it's cheap, and like me living my life right now, not having a lot of money and doing commissions and stuff to actually buy my games, I'm like, oh, I'm going to draw something for somebody. I'm going to be able to pick up some more Hitman for like $15. And we don't know how much content is in there yet. If it's like,
right.
It's like an hour of content, I'm going to be like, okay.
If it's an Absolution map and it's $15, I can't do that, man. I mean, no, but to be honest with you, if it was an Absolution map, I would probably still have a lot of fun with it. But for $15, I don't see it. At some point, it almost makes me say, release the game for free. Release the game for free, get a whole bunch of cosmetic stuff or something to like make a little bit of money, and then release these packs if you want. But I just feel like you really start to alienate some of the audience when you have to make someone keep buying something. Is there a season pass? Do you know?
Not from what I saw. I'm definitely expecting one. But to give a little bit of context, the first episode of Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands, that took me about 3.5 hours to beat, and that was $5.
Like that's weird. See, like that whole thing is weird though. Like that's a story-driven game, like
which is why I'm saying that doesn't help me very much, but it does kind of make me think about price models and how much game that you have. But again, if like just like in the case of The Last of Us, that is a $60 game, right? The story you have a singular story that you'll beat in about 12-13 hours. Whereas like there are some $60 games that are probably like, okay, it has all this stuff in it, but that's not worth $60. So again, I think I do agree with you. We just have to wait and see. We don't know anything of like how they're going to release and how much stuff is actually in there. We don't know there's going to be subsequent multiplayer modes where you're going to be able to create your own contracts, or like if there are like multiple missions in just this one map.
Yeah. I mean, then that's what it is for me. I mean, I think in Paris, you open up Paris, there will be a couple different missions in it. There will be a story involved in it. And then there will be,
Paris.
Right. Yeah, and I just feel like there's going to be a little introduction to Paris, a couple different contracts, and you'll be able to the replayability will be really high. That's I guess to kind of flip your question around. What would it take for me to be okay with that pricing structure?
Ooh.
Taking $15 and saying like start and get ready because you're gonna want to invest. You may pay $150 by the end of this, but you're gonna enjoy it. $145 by the end of this, or whatever. You're gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, am I? And I put it in. I play the prologue, and I'm like, I'm already happy, right? The prologue brings me in, and I'm like, ooh, this is exciting. And then finally, I get to Paris. I'm like, this is Paris, massive, really large game, the size of 2 or 3 like Blood Money maps. Because Blood Money maps are pretty big. Yeah. I'm in 2 or 3 Blood Money maps. Perfect example. Ground Zero size map. I'm done. I'm good. Yep. I paid for Ground Zeroes full. I didn't regret that. I mean, I regretted it once it dropped to 15, like the next day. But Ground Zeroes for $15, that's fine. You play Ground Zeroes for $15 is nothing. And so
I only have one trophy left in that thing, and I adored that game. I didn't think it was going to get any better, and it did. That was definitely a $50-$40 game.
Ground Zeroes?
Yes.
You said it was a $50-$40 game?
I changed my answer from 50 to 40 because it was released at $40, right?
Oh, see, I think it's a $15 game. I think it's a $15
then.
I bought it at full price. Whatever it was at full price, I bought it. And then it dropped to 15. First of all, it came out for free, and then it came out for 15. And it was, it came out for free for PlayStation Plus users, and then it was 15. And I was like, that is a phenomenal free game and a phenomenal, $15 game. And I think that if we're gonna get something close to Ground Zeroes for $15, I think that that's great. and then if every single subsequent game afterwards is or map is a similar type of experience as Ground Zeroes for $10, $10, $10, and they add 5 more maps, then we're about paying for a $60 game at that point. As long as they don't add other DLC to make it confusing, I will not be happy with that. If they add a store, I won't be really mad. But if they add like
dollars on top of like the $10 like a map or whatever, that's like meh.
I mean, it's just confusing.
It is.
You know what I mean? And if the map is more like, it's a set of missions, it's a whole another game, then fine. But if it's not, then I don't want it. So anyway,
to answer your question, I do think that Ground Zeroes is a perfect comparison as to what I'd want out of the Hitman franchise. You have a base map, but then out of that, they give you all sorts of different kinds of missions. But I'd want a lot of missions, like in terms of that map. Like, hey, assassinate this person, and then assassinate that person, or get from point A to point B without being seen. Like, stuff like that. Because as we've seen in Absolution and the way that you can frame your missions in Contracts mode, there is a lot of creativity that you can do with this. I would also want, Contracts mode to be at like the forefront as well, aside from the missions. It's because that way people can like stay invested, no matter like as the episodes come out, be like, oh, I've been playing all like these Hitman maps that my friends made out of the Paris map. It's like, oh, I didn't know the new one just came out already. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a good piece of information, that's for sure. Any other news that you want to share quickly before we get into my quick piece of news?
Go into your quick piece of news because I'm looking for the other thing.
All right. So this isn't a quick piece of news. This is kind of a big piece of news. So you sure you want me to go in? I know there was that one Assassin's Creed thing you wanted to talk about.
Oh yes, there's that, and then my super tiny piece of news: all GameStops in Puerto Rico have been closed.
Oh yeah, well that's always interesting. GameStop, meh. Hopefully they die tomorrow. What? I'm just kidding.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Moving on to my next tiny bit. The next big Assassin's Creed, as you know, so Changir, how often does Assassin's Creed come out?
Yearly, annually. Sometimes they do some weird thing and like produce like 2 or 3, gosh, 2 at a time, but annually.
The correct answer is too often.
Yeah, good point. Too often.
So what if I told you that now they're going for what seemingly is a biannual release schedule? No, biannual. You can see the season pass of the Pharaoh whatever special mission, PS4 exclusive. Anyway,
right in Egypt.
Yeah, it's gonna be set in ancient Egypt because this information was leaked by Kotaku because they have a very long string of being able to figure out when like the subsequent Assassin's Creed releases are, when they are, and what setting they are. So they're on a good streak right now, and I'm like, oh, Egypt is one of the most commonly requested things. Cool. Biannual release schedule, a lot more time for development, a lot more time to change up the formula because Assassin's Creed just needs to change. It needs to change or it needs to leave us alone for 5 years.
Yeah, I think I'm excited. I felt like they did a huge. I've mentioned this a couple times before. My favorite Assassin's Creed, the only one I really like, is Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and that's because they spent all this time working on the ships, and they did a really good job working on the ships and on the ship gameplay and the water gameplay. I thought it was phenomenal. They did a really great job, and I think that giving them another year, just like a whole bunch of games do, give them another year, and you're gonna see some really large development. Hopefully. They don't do. I'm actually not as on board with it. I mean, I don't play, Assassin's Creed, so I'm okay if they don't change major things. Yeah, I don't need them to really make a huge change. I just need them to make the game that they already have perfect. Like fix. For example,
I've never a combat system that works.
Right. I've never heard anyone be like, "Yeah, I really love Assassin's Creed's combat. It's so intricate. It's so satisfying. The combo meters." And when I mean, what? Devil May Cry? No, I don't care about those combos, man. No, chaining combos and having fun while attacking people and what? Platinum Games? No, their combat. No. Shadows of Mordor. I don't even know what that is. No. Assassin's Creed, that's where the combat's at. I've never heard that, and that's because it's not as good. And Assassin's Creed does a lot of great things. Its mobility, running around, is a lot of fun, but not its combat, which is the majority of the game, besides running around. And so when you run around and you get into combat, you should be able to be like, oh, I'm about to have some fun. But you don't. Instead, you're like, I'm going to do a whole bunch of cheap stuff and get out of here, or I'm going to do a whole bunch of cheap stuff and kill everybody. I think that the best Assassin's Creed clone ever is Shadows of Mordor, and they did a phenomenal job
in every single regard.
Yeah, and so I'm really hoping that they learn some things from some of the clones. They learn some things from their fans. Obviously, I think they're doing it because they need to, because the bugs are ridiculous and people are just going to bash it again. And I don't think their sales were doing super great. I mean, they're always doing well, but I think that it may not have done as. Yeah, I don't. I mean, when you make so many, it's just kind of hard to keep it up. So
there's some rumors that Watch Dogs 2 might be a thing this year, so we'll see what happens with that.
I'm totally down for that. I mentioned it before that Watch Dogs I think had a great idea, and I think a lot of people were excited, and then the hype train was just too large, and they just didn't do a good job. They tried, it was that of course, for all fairness, they tried to make a Call of Duty, or not Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto clone, and that's okay. They just didn't do a great job.
Ironically, they put like hacking and hacking cheats, like a hacking feature out of the modding tools in GTA 5, so they already made a better Watch Dogs than Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, I mean, well, Watch Dogs had a lot of issues, so hopefully, and of course, they use the good old Ubisoft system of go to the point, unlock the rest of the map, go to the point, unlock the rest of the map, and so it was like I'm playing a Ubisoft game just like any other Ubisoft game, literally any Ubisoft game. Just dance, you dance until you get to the point, and then no, I'm just kidding. But I mean, they're all
done to Just Dance, where I can dance at a certain tower and unlock all the other songs in the area.
Yeah, it's not fun. It gets really tiring and annoying. So Far Cry 4, and I had the same problem with Far Cry 4. It just got tiring. And in Watch Dogs, even though I did do it, those were a lot more fun in Watch Dogs because you had to break into the whole thing. Aiden Pierce sucked as a character.
Some of the only good missions were like actually doing those tower things because you're able to do whatever the heck you wanted with the skills that you got.
Yeah. I think in general the third-person shooting mechanic wasn't terrible.
Open world shooting, period.
You said it was the best?
Yeah, that I played.
Better than GTA.
Better than Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, better than GTA. It depends. But yeah, it was good. And it felt like I wasn't doing enough of it, and when I was, it just felt weird. It was just weird. But anyway,
I just won't make the mistake of pre-ordering it digitally like that.
Right. Let's not talk about that. Anyway, so I don't want to talk about pre-orders.
Don't pre-order your games.
That's a whole other. That's a conversation for another time. Let's talk about VR. Going back to VR, here's the last piece of news for the day.
Oh, really?
Unless I find something else, that randomly pops up.
Tiny thing, like one last tiny thing, and it's actually a tiny thing.
All right, you want to go through that first?
Sony attempts and fails to trademark the phrase "Let's Play."
Oh, I heard that. I don't know enough about it. I don't know if I care enough. But I did hear about it. There was a lot of tiny news that I could go over. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about it and things like that. But let's jump into this VR news.
Much rather talk about VR.
So the Consumer Electronics Show happened, like I mentioned, a big deal. And basically, the price for the Oculus Rift came out. And the price for the Oculus Rift is $600, $599. It's actually not $600. It's $599. Period. It's not $599.99. It's $599 plus, of course, shipping and handling and tax. But $600. And people kind of blew up about the price, freaked out. It's a big deal, all that stuff. Let me tell you what it includes: the headset, the sensor, the remote, the cables, the Xbox One controller, Eve, Valkyrie, and Lucky's Tale. So that's a lot of stuff. Yes. So it's expected to ship on June 2016, and you can pre-order it now, and it's limited one per customer. Also, big deal is that you actually, if you were one of the people that kickstarted the Oculus Rift in the very beginning, you're actually going to get one of them for free. So, bam, that's a big deal.
I heard pre-orders sold out in 15 minutes.
I'm sure. It seems like you can still pre-order one now, but I'm sure those initial pre-orders were probably gone. I'm sure they were just gone. So how do you feel about the $600 price point?
Okay, so I saw we had some time since we recorded this because we were talking about the arguments when.
Yeah, and don't talk about any other VR headsets because I am going to get into some other ones. So just strictly talk about this one. But go ahead.
I don't have a high-end PC. So what does that mean for me exactly? I have no interest in Oculus personally. $600. When I look at the person who I know is going to be an early adapter of the system, they have a high-end PC. They're the kind of guy that exchange their parts on all sorts of things. They have the kind of money to be like, I can drop $600 on a headset because I have this high-end PC and everything's just gonna work. I'm like, cool, that's great. I do like, again, when we do talk about PSVR, I would like to make my case as to why I'm more interested in that over Oculus. But $600 to me, that's cheaper than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like $1,000, $1,200.
Yeah,
because of all the high-end technology and stuff, and that touch control that they're developing, I'm like, this has to be like $1,200 just a set.
I'm not sure if those come with it or not.
They don't. They're in development still.
Right.
So the thing is, this makes sense as an early adopter price because, dude, it wasn't that long ago when the PS3 was $600 at launch.
Yeah.
So, how do I feel about it? It doesn't affect me personally, but if I was a PC gamer and I did want to invest in VR quickly, I would be a bit like, I don't know how I would feel. I mean, you got other like VR headsets coming out for like, HTC Vive and stuff like that. So I don't really have an opinion yet, but I'm like, I thought it was going to be a lot more expensive.
Okay, all right. So I think that's important that you mention that for you this doesn't really matter. Not that you're not interested, but it's just not, you're not going to buy one. And let's to kind of a disclaimer, you don't even have a PC. All you have is a laptop. You have a Surface tablet, right?
I played Downwell on my Surface Pro 3. That is the extent of my PC gaming.
Right. So if first of all, you have to have a PC, right? So I have a PC. I have a pretty well-paying job. The Oculus Rift is easily obtainable, not easily attainable for me, but it's not like I'm going to be like, oh man, I got to save my pennies and really start thinking about Christmas time. Like, no, if I want the Oculus Rift, I'll get the Oculus Rift. The problem is that my computer actually isn't strong enough. I built my computer recently, about 2 years ago, and I've got for those that are nerds and love the specs, I've got a GTX 960, and for those that know about VR, you have to have at least a 970. And I'm not upgrading. I'm not upgrading to a 970 anytime soon. Are
you a far cry away from upgrading your PC to like meet those standards? Is this a hard thing to do?
No, it's not hard, but I don't want to do it. When you build a computer and I upgraded, it was a build/upgrade. I took some components out of an old computer and I bought some new ones and I put it together to say, this is exactly what I want this computer to do. I want it to be able to play any game that I currently have, mostly Oblivion modded, and that's all I really care about. But when I get Skyrim, I want to be able to play that modded as well. And then I think we're good to go. And I don't care about 4K gaming. I'm not going to buy a 4K monitor anytime soon. Granted, you can play 4K with a 960, just not super well. Again, I'm used to playing my PS3, so I would be okay with 30 frames per second 4K if I really wanted. But a 960 is a great graphics card to start out with. And so that's what I did. And I didn't upgrade my CPU or anything like that. And those are my two biggest issues: is my CPU, and which is definitely not strong enough, and my GPU. I will be upgrading my CPU because I need to upgrade it for video editing purposes. But I also may have to switch out my motherboard. I'm not doing that. My motherboard, they're saying that I don't have enough USBs, 3.0, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm not doing all that. So
the question is, how does this affect you and your personal rig versus a layman that has an okay PC that really wants to get into VR?
I mean, if you don't have my specs as a rig, you're not going to be able to do it. If you do not have a 970 or above, then you're not going to be able to do it. You are going to have to make the leap. And hopefully you weren't using the red team's gear, because if you were, then it's going to be pretty difficult unless you're using the processor. That doesn't really matter. But they have a compatibility downloader thing you can just download. Honestly, you're probably going to buy a new one. I mean, that's, if you're really interested, you're probably going to buy a new one. There are already some bundles out there. I think Dell has one where you can buy the Oculus and a computer. And then that's not a bad decision, honestly. I've been thinking about getting into a new computer anyway, way later, but because I wanted to have one for my computer, or for my computer space, and one for my television space. For those that know about that kind of stuff, kind of maybe make a little mini PC. But anyway, it's one of those things where if you're a builder, if you like PCs, if you like all that stuff, you'll do it. You'll do it if you want it, right? If you're a PC master race, you're gonna do it. There's no question. Even if you've been running on that 560 for a really long time, or that 750 Ti, at this point you're not. You're at this point you're gonna go, I want the Oculus Rift. It's time to make the upgrade. Or if you're one of those people. If not, then you won't.
So would you say that our collective answer boils down to those? I would say we know that the core audience and the core and the the early adapters, they know that they're going to do this anyway. Like we
Yeah.
know whoever really wants it is going to have it because they
Yeah, right. That's perfect. The early adopters are not going to, you know, the early adopters already know. They're already, and I think that's all Oculus is really going to get. I think Oculus is going to get the early adopters, maybe some really rich kids whose parents are like, are going to buy them a brand new computer. I mean, hey, and that happens. That's cool. Hey, I mean, all more power to you. I'm sure we've got a lot of subscribers that have that kind of money, and awesome. But you already know if you're going to get this. I think that's what it is for Oculus. And speaking of Oculus and its competitors, because we were just mentioning that, there are two major competitors. There are other competitors in this field, mind you. But these type of VR experiences are different. We've talked about this on a different podcast before. We talked about it when we talk about, there's Samsung Gear VR. That's for your phone. Google Cardboard, which, by the way, Google now has its own subsidiary, I guess, or Google now has its own place that's making now actual VR. Who knows what that means if we're going to get an actual Google VR headset, which I'm sure we are. The Nexus headset or something, which would be sick, and I will definitely buy it. But
you just have a pair of eyeglasses.
Well, I mean, that's AR, right? But we'll see what happens there. But in terms of VR, we're going to see. But there's the big players here are the HTC Vive, which we're about to talk about next, and then, of course, PlayStation VR. But there's a report going out saying that the HTC Vive might be as high as $1,500.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the HTC Vive is way more advanced. The HTC Vive allows you to move within the space. People are saying the HTC Vive in quality, it's HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift, and then PSVR. And the HTC Vive is honestly amazing. If I'm going to build another rig, I'm building it for the HTC Vive, not for the Oculus Rift. Because
you used it.
Yeah, I mean, the HTC Vive, a lot of these people at CES, if you watch CES coverage talking about the HTC Vive, they talk about the demos that I've played. And they are astonished. They are amazed. And this is at the HTC Vive Pre, which is right before the new one. So I was using a dev kit. They were using right before this isn't even a dev kit. It's just called the Pre, right before the actual gold standard unit. And so this is going to be really, really cool. And the Vive being $1,500 wouldn't surprise me. It's got a crazy ton of stuff. The sensors, they added a new camera, so you can actually see. This is amazing. They basically added AR to the VR experience. You can now look at your hands. You can now like if you're just walking around, you can activate this camera, or if you hit a boundary, you can, or if there's a table, like it can sense these things and show you that you're about to hit this, or if you can go into this mode and it'll grayscale everything, and it'll show you what's in the outside world. That's another
more about Chain Gear's experience with PSVR. Go ahead and check our episode that's all about VR.
Yeah. Definitely. I love the HTC Vive, but they've added a whole bunch of stuff. They have these lighthouses and stuff like that. So, $15,000. Hey, it's the high cost one, right? I don't know if it's gonna be 15. I think it might be 1,000. I think it might be 1,000. They might price it at $899, maybe $999, just because 1,500 isn't gonna be competitive. And people will say, is it really worth that much to walk around my living room? I don't even know if I can walk around my living room like that. And who knows what the specs are going to be, right. Probably higher than the Oculus. So, so we have the high-end, Vive. We have the everyday PC-centric, high end, which is the Oculus, and then what I think is going to be the everyday man's VR, and I don't mean to say man as in gender wise, but the everyday person's VR, and that's going to be PlayStation VR. Granted, we know that the everyday VR is actually Samsung Gear VR and Google Cardboard and stuff, and all of those small headsets, but PlayStation VR is really what I think is going to personally and hopefully knock it out of the park, and that's because you don't have to worry. You're just gonna get it. You're just gonna get it. And you're just gonna, I mean, it's so annoying to think about all these things about the Oculus and think about all the, everything. I was so ready. I would buy an Oculus day one if I knew it was going to work, but I know it's not. And
yeah,
so
shall I finish making my point that I did when I had the...
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
The reason why I believe in PSVR so much is that it feels like a genuine additive to my experience, in the sense that I have a PS4. PSVR is going to work with this. I don't need any more. I don't need to change anything out. I don't need to change any parts. I have full confidence that this thing is going to work on my system. How much do you think it's going to be? Because I'm thinking 400, 500 range.
I don't think it's 400. I think you'll go no, not lower than 400. Impossible. I will not. If it is lower than 400, I will buy two. No, that's not true. If it is lower than 400, I will. It's not even a joke. I will pre-order it. I don't pre-order, but I will pre-order that immediately. I won't even think about it if it's less than 400. 400 to 600 is what I'm seeing. It's not going to be more.
Alone is what's going to win the VR race. Like with how many PS4s are in people's homes, people are more likely to get that. But again, it kind of goes into the early adopter thing. Those who really care about PSVR are going to be getting it no matter what it is. But again, we do have this added security that it's going to work because it's built for the system where we don't need to change more parts.
Also, and now there's kind of this race in the media where people are saying that the PSVR actually has the largest install base of games. Granted, Oculus, and especially exclusive, granted, Oculus has an impossible amount of games to actually tell if they're going to work or not. Technically, you can play Oblivion in VR. It's not great, but you can. Technically, you can play
in VR. Like, that's an actual feature.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? I mean, right, you can do that. You can't necessarily do that with the PlayStation VR. So PlayStation VR has the most exclusives and real VR titles. And I say real, I mean very specific VR titles, where the Oculus has infinite. But it doesn't have as many exclusives, and even its exclusives aren't actually exclusives. Apparently, they actually can work with the Vive and other things like that, which is very interesting. But so I think PSVR, I think is again, it's got to be competitive. It can't be more than $600 because it actually is not as good in terms of strength and in terms of visuals. It's not as good as the Oculus as far as I've heard, especially with the panel itself and things like that. And so I think they've got to be smart about it. And I don't think it's going to cost $600. If it does, it's going to cost $600. It's not going to cost $699. You're screwed.
I can see in the future, like an $800, $900 bundle, PS4 and PSVR.
I can see that.
That seems very much within the realm of obtainable, or maybe even something like $750. Because if they're like, hey, if you get it with the PS4, you also get like a game and like a bit.
Yeah, they could. They're at this point, they can really start cutting price on PS4 if they want, without really cutting price on PS4. They can keep the PS4 the same price, and then just keep adding random bundles where they're just dropping the price of it. Like, oh yeah, it's really $300 now plus the VR. You know what I mean? Oh, it's a $700 bundle, and they're like, what? That's like $100 off of the PS4. It's like, yeah, well. Up to you, So I wouldn't see that. I could definitely see that. But if it's any more than $600, I'm not gonna buy it. I will not buy it if it's more than $600 because I have to see reviews and stuff first. Otherwise, I might as well start thinking about really upgrading my PC. It's not gonna cost me that much money, and I know the Oculus has a bigger category or catalog, and has crazy PC enthusiasts behind it comparatively to VR, which is just their PSVR, which is just PlayStation, and I do have to rely on PlayStation, which I'll do if it's only $400. I'll do if it's only $500. I'll do if it's $600.
The appeal of you playing Oblivion with Oculus.
Right. I mean, great. I mean, there's no. Are you kidding? Whatever the next Elder Scrolls is going to be in VR, and if it's not, then they're missing out. I mean, the other two games already run crappy, but run in VR. If they don't make the next Elder Scrolls run in VR, then somebody's going to do it. I mean, granted, apparently, I don't know, Just Cause 3, everyone wanted multiplayer and they did it, even though it was in 2 because people modded it, and now they just modded it again and now it has multiplayer. I don't know why they didn't just add it. Anyway, so we'll see. we'll see. But anyway, that's all the VR talk. I just wanted to kind of tell everybody that that those things are out. That the price is out. The price is definitely out for the Oculus. The price for the HTC Vive is on its way, but kind of rumored at 15,000, could be as high as. That's what they're saying.
1,500, not 15,000.
Woo, it's scary. Dyslexia. 1,500. All right. So let's get into the subject of the last 3 weeks. It's normally the subject of the week, but let's get into the actual subject here at hand. Here at Your Gaming GearCast. It's time to talk about trophies, ladies and gentlemen. Trophies. Myself and Peaches will talk about trophies a lot. And we've got some interesting things to say about our trophies. Quickly, I just wanted to let you guys know that there are 2 great ways to look at your trophies outside of using the PlayStation 4 or your PlayStation Vita, or even, unfortunately, the PlayStation 3, because that is not a fun way to look at your trophies. PlayStation itself has their own trophy website. If you go to www.playstation.com/en-us/ and I can put all this in the description, /my/trophies, or if you just Google My Trophies PlayStation, you'll come up with the actual website for, you have to sign in, of course, for your trophies. It has a really easy to look at layout. It shows your trophy level, how many trophies, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, your level, the percentage to your next level, your recently played games, total trophies, and your trophy progress, all that good stuff. But I think there is an even better website that really breaks it down and gives you a whole bunch of great information. That's truetrophies.com. And if you guys are Xbox users, say it again.
That's our favorite. I've really been getting into True Trophies.
Yeah, True Trophies is a really great website. And it used to start off as just True Achievements. So if you guys are Xbox fans or were Xbox fans, now there's True Trophies. And True Trophies is really, really amazing. The site is just super awesome. It's got a whole bunch of community features. There's gaming news, of course, as well. So it's really a full-fledged site that you can go to for basically anything. But it is pretty cool. And so I'm using truetrophies.com. In conjunction with the My Trophies with PlayStation, just because of different reasons. They show different things, and so I just wanted to put that out there. But let's just get started. What are trophies? Some people are obviously what trophies are if you're here and you're watching this podcast and you play PlayStation. But where'd they come from? Why did they come up? Achievements, which I believe started on Xbox, the original Xbox Live. Yeah. Gold. They had these achievements, I believe. I didn't research exactly when they started and all that stuff. But achievements existed, and on Xbox 360 they definitely existed, and they had these things called gamer scores. And basically it was a way to show your friends that you've done all these things in games, and you have these points. And Steam actually has the same thing, Steam Achievements, and show your friends what you've done. Well, PlayStation was like, we got to get in the game too. PlayStation 3 came out with the PlayStation Network, and they created PlayStation Trophies. And PlayStation Trophies are, exactly what they sound like. They're basically the PlayStation equivalent of achievements, where you can, you beat some things in a game. I'll give you guys an example. I recently just got Nihil Umbra, which is a PS Vita game that was free with PlayStation Plus. And I just recently got a couple trophies for just starting to play the game. Like, for example, I have one trophy, and it's called You Were Born, when you escape from the void, which is literally just, starting the game. That's a trophy. So if someone sees, oh hey, Brandon played Nihil Umbra. Oh, never mind. He only did one thing. Okay, never mind. Good job. Good job, Brandon. Anyway, so but that's what it is, right? You're able to see what people have done, and it's a great way to keep track, and kind of see how a good way to brag, right? Big bragging rights. Yeah. And so that's kind of a big deal. So we're going to do a little bit of bragging before we talk about our feelings about trophies and how we think about it and stories. We're just going to do a little bit of bragging first. So I'm going to use the My Trophies on PlayStation, because this is kind of an easy way to show all my stats really quickly. And first we're going to go through our trophy. We'll go through it kind of quickly. Our trophy levels, the number of trophies, and then we'll hit the platinums. And talk about how many platinums, and then we'll really start getting into the games. So I'll go first. Or how about you go first?
Me? All right. Yeah. Well, my trophy level is 18, and I'm 3% through that. For bronze, well, so that means I have a total of 3,178 trophies.
Woo!
Oh yeah. And so 2,560 bronze, 512 silver, 95 gold, and 11 platinum trophies.
Now
impressed?
now for a lot of you guys probably have no idea what that means. Some of you do, some of you don't. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. I know a lot of guys I play Blacklight with. You're level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. I know some guys that are level 10. But to get up to the level 18, right?
18.
Yeah, 18's big. 18's a pretty high number. To get up to that 21, 23, those are really hard ranges to get up into. It actually gets harder as you go on. And so really getting those higher levels is pretty difficult. You really need to be getting those platinums, including playing tons of games and stuff like that. So that's a lot of games. A lot of games to play. You guys heard the number of trophies and things like that. So again, go ahead and check out your own trophy levels and maybe see how many trophies you guys have, and you'll kind of understand. And you'll see kind of what that looks like. So myself, I'm level 19, and I am 68% through that. And I'm pretty close to getting that 20, and then I'll probably retire. But I have 3,941 trophies. Bronze, I have 3,255, so you can see that there's a large chunk of my trophies as the bronze. Silver, 570. Gold, 104. Platinum, I have 12. So those are our trophy counts. As you guys can see, I have more than he does. I've also been, but disclaimer, I've been playing a lot longer than he has. I had a PS3 and a PS4 before he did. We kind of. He had a Wii at one point. He was more a Nintendo guy. I had a Xbox and a PlayStation, and then he kind of moved up to PlayStation, and then both of us got kind of huge PlayStation guys. But yeah, so it's a huge deal that actually he's level 18, and I've been playing actually a lot longer than he has, especially for PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 I've been playing since it started, and there were games on the PlayStation 3 that didn't even have trophies. So when trophies,
my second account, because my original account has a trophy level of 12.
Right. Oh, that's true. And this is his second account because he forgot his password for the other one. Loser. So, but yeah, so it's a really pretty big deal. Pretty big deal that he is able to get up this quick. And let me explain also that I am not the sole owner of these trophies. I am not a big we'll talk about this later. I'm not a trophy hunter. I don't want to get into that yet, really talking about how we feel about trophies, but I did not unlock all these trophies by myself. Actually, I would say the majority of them I did not get myself. Well, not all the trophies, the platinums, the 100%.
Did earn some very, very impressive platinum trophies.
Which we will get through. Yeah, it was not completely me. Most of them were actually my roommate, who actually currently owns my PlayStation, or doesn't own, but has my PlayStation 3, because that's how we've been playing since I came to college. We would just kind of play together, and he really liked trophy hunting. That was kind of his thing, and I just liked playing games for the experience, and that was kind of a really big deal for me. So let's just, now that we got that disclaimer out of the way, why don't we actually go ahead and let's use True Trophy, truetrophies.com. And let's go ahead and click type and look at our platinums. So I've got 12 platinums, you got 11 platinums. But before we get into the platinums, either use True Trophies, or I'm going to use my trophies again to show not total trophies, trophy progress, to look at all of our 100%. So right now we're just going to go through our 100%. And maybe some other close games. So games that we've 100%ed. So trophies, basically this means we've gotten every single trophy in this entire game. Usually that means you had to trophy hunt it. It's kind of hard to get all the trophies throughout a game when you're not really looking for them. So these are just games we've 100%ed and we really enjoyed, or sometimes we really enjoyed them. And maybe talking about a couple.
Guide me through how to get to the 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on My Trophies, you're on the PlayStation's My Trophy thing.
Oh, this is on My Trophies because okay, then I'm good.
Yeah, it's a little easier on My Trophies. I find that just because for the simple stuff, it's pretty fine. So we'll go through that, and then we'll go into our platinums and kind of talk about a little bit there. So just really quick, I'll go through mine first. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I 100%ed that with my roommate. That was a lot of fun for us. We love that game on PlayStation 3. I mean, it was, there were some issues with it, but we really enjoyed it. And so, we were like, let's get through it. And he definitely helped a lot with that. My most honored 100% is easily the PlayStation Vita Welcome Park. Definitely look that up if you guys have not seen it. Great way to 100% a game. A lot of fun. If you have a Vita, woo! I'm not being sarcastic in any way, shape, or form. If you can't tell, then don't look at it. I don't even know it yet. Anyway, so my next 100% was not me at all. I did not play this game 0 hours. I played this game. Actually, I played it for 30 minutes or something. PS Vita Uncharted Golden Abyss. Platinum and 100%ed all by my roommate. He did not have fun doing it, but he did it. Jetpack Joyride for the PlayStation Vita. Great game. It's 100%. Honestly, I helped him. I played a lot of it, and then actually me and my roommates kind of passed it around and just kept playing, and then we 100%ed it because it was a lot of fun. Well, we'll get into this a little later, but it is my favorite 100% and platinum that I have is Infamous Second Son. Love that game. Another one of my favorite 100% that I did with a whole bunch of friends back in the day, Zombie Apocalypse. That was not an easy one to 100%.
Next to impossible, man. Like one's gonna be able to platinum it now.
That was fun. It was no platinum, but it was 100%. And we did that just because we loved the game so much. Apotheon.
We're gonna play 7 Days of Hell.
Yeah, 7 days. That was crazy. Apotheon, not me at all. I played again probably 15 minutes of that game. My roommate completely 100%ed and platinumed it. I 100%ed and platinumed Infamous First Light, another phenomenal one. My actual most probably treasured one, Hotline Miami. On PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation Vita. It was a cross thing. And I played it on all of them. 100%ed it. I got all of the trophies, including the platinum. That was a lot of fun. Did that with my roommate, but that was together. It was not like here, can you beat this? Dust, an Elysian Tale, 100%ed and platinumed by my roommate. Prototype 2, 100%ed and platinumed by my roommate within 24 hours. Warframe is the next one that is closest to getting 100%. At this point, no more 100%. Warframe is at 97%, basically all my roommate. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, 95%. Me and my other roommate, we had a lot of fun with that. God Mode, me and all of my roommates, that was a lot of fun, 95%. Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, 91%. Blackout Retribution, 85%, which I'll talk about later. And then there's a couple more. Awesome Knots. That was close. Awesome. Dead Nation's a big one. Guacamelee, Strider, the original Infamous, Shadows of the Damned, forgot about that one. Hitman Absolution, Uncharted, Darksiders, Legend of Korra, Borderlands 2. But we'll talk about those later. So those were some of my 100%. So if you guys are interested in getting any of those 100%ed, or if you guys are just maybe want to put what you guys got 100%ed down below, if you guys have any, then let us know in the comment section. But quickly, Vampire Peaches, let's hear it. What 100% and which ones are close to 100%?
Okay, so I got a couple bizarre ones on here, which I'm actually very proud of and are pretty ashamed of, actually. So first, I got Octodad, Dadliest Catch. I love that game. That's one of my favorite games ever. Like, I just have a saucer for the game, man. The Walking Dead Season 2. A lot of these are actually Telltale games because I love Telltale games. So I got The Walking Dead Season 2. Infamous Festival of Blood. Piece of crap expansion, but I enjoyed it enough for me to get all the trophies in it. God, Chingy remembers that phone call. I was like, oh, there's no platinum. He's like, nope. Because it's
so did you really enjoy it enough to get the platinum, or did you just really want the platinum?
I think it's a little bit of A, a little bit of B. Mm-hmm. Next is Goat Simulator. That's 100% and the platinum. That was just something that I was like, there's this mini game where you play a Flappy Bird clone that's broken in the game. My roommate at the time was like, you're never going to beat that. And I'm like, you're kidding. Of course I'm going to beat it. And so I did. And I got the platinum trophy. The next is Thrones, Game of Thrones, another Telltale series. That's 100% and platinum. That's then next is Wolf Among Us, another Telltale game series, 100% and platinum. Next, of course, is Infamous 2. Love that game.
Classic.
Not Changier's favorite, but it's definitely my favorite. So it's Infamous 2, and then
Wait, Infamous 2 is your favorite Infamous?
yes, it is. Thought about it long and hard. It's my favorite Infamous one.
I'm sorry.
So the next is The Walking Dead, the first season. Then one of my treasured platinums is Infamous First Light. I love that expansion. I love that standalone. I love it. It's phenomenal. It's so much fun. Decimated your records online, Changer. Just letting you know.
Yeah, because I stopped playing it. Don't act like you're actually better than me. Come on now, slow down.
I actually did that just to I'll be like, oh, well, he's at this score. I can do it.
This one right here thinks he's better than me at first light.
It's okay. The next one will make up for it. Hotoful Boyfriend.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I'm okay with that.
Not 100%. It's all bronze trophies. Pathetic. But I love the game. Sorry. I love the game.
Mm-hmm.
Next, so it's not 100%, but this is my next. Actually, we're gonna skip over that platinum because I don't want to spoil all the platinums. But my next one is 95% Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Loved it.
Hey, same 95%.
I'm gonna skip over. We probably have the same.
Yeah, I mean, just name them. If there are some that you're interested in, I mean, just tell them. If not, nah.
Yeah. Okay. Monopoly Plus is at 90% just because I have a lot of multiplayer co-op nights at, back in Boston, and we love to play Monopoly because there's no clutter. One of the ones that I regret not platinuming is Assassin's Creed 2 because Assassin's Creed is just a giant collect-a-thon series of, open world games.
Right.
These are jokes. Pathetic. And then there's the next platinum is The Walking Dead. So we'll cover the next platinums.
Cool. All right, so let's jump right into platinums. And so let just not a disclaimer, but kind of an understanding. Platinums are the highest level of trophy you can get. Usually, it's unlocking all the trophies that you can get beforehand. So it's basically saying you got them all. Here's a big trophy that will increase your bar even more, right? And that's always nice to get. Those platinums are really big deals usually to people who are trophy hunters or even not trophy hunters. It's just saying that you've done something really, really big. Unfortunately, some games, some platinums are easier to get than others, and sometimes it can make people feel a little weird about it. For example, the Telltale games are all very easy to platinum because all you have to do is beat them. And so that makes people feel kind of weird about it comparatively to, Skyrim, platinuming Skyrim, which is...
I wonder what sort of madman would do that.
So trophy hunters have a tendency to maybe go for both, right? Games that they really love, and they'll platinum it still. Maybe Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, you're thinking about really going out and platinuming it just because you really love it so much, and the trophy's calling your name. But at the same time, you're like, well, I could just play these games and get the trophies real quick. That's I can tell you guys one thing. My roommate did not care about any of the games on PlayStation 3 once the PlayStation 4 came out, or any games really in general, and he'll just play it. He's the type of person to put the television on mute and just find the quickest way, the fastest and most efficient exploitive way to get these trophies. And we'll talk about that when we're going through these platinums. Well, some of them for myself, but again, kind of a disclaimer is I am not a trophy hunter. And again, we'll talk about that when we talk about kind of our feelings about trophies. I'm not a fan of trophy hunting at all. And Peaches, you definitely are a trophy hunter, correct?
Yeah. I'm about to 3D print these platinum trophies and put them on my shelf.
Soon you will see some Chain Gear Gaming legit. We're about to get some merchandise up in here. I know I only have like 300. I think I have 331 subscribers right now. But we're about to get some merchandise up in here. Start asking your parents for gift cards. So let's get started. I've got. Let's see. Let's do this. Well, I'll just go down this list. No, I'll go up the list. So we've got, what is this? Uncharted Golden Abyss, which it's literally just called Platinum. Collect all the other 55 trophies for this trophy.
Yeah, give us the name of the Platinum and then the game.
Sure, okay. Perfectionist from Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. And I was awarded all other trophies. You get the Perfectionist. Both of these, not mine. Both of them were from Trophy Hunter. I will call him Mystery Trophy Hunter X. My roommate, Trophy Hunter X. Actually, I'll call him Trophy Hunter McCloud because usually he would name his people something that had to do with Fox McCloud from Star Fox. Not because he likes Star Fox, but because he likes Super Smash Bros. And he was really good with Fox. Anyway, so Perfectionist from Kings of Amalur. Quick story. That's one of those things that he's a huge trophy hunter. He was probably level 5 or 6 when he got the platinum because he just skipped half the game. That's the kind of person he is. To get that platinum, he'll do anything. That game is not 100%ed, but it is platinumed. Which is interesting because that must mean that there's DLC or something because it's not 100%ed, but he does have all of them.
Tons and tons of DLC.
Yeah. The next one is Romero Would Be Proud, where I collected all the trophies in Dead Nation. This was a combination of me and my roommate because we played it together. It was a co-op.
Would be very proud.
I love Dead Nation. Phenomenal game. It's by what are those guys' names? Guys that made we always forget their name. Why? Housemark. Thank you. Yeah, those guys are great. So definitely, if you guys have not played Dead Nation, they have like some HD, master version for the PS4. Get Dead Nation. Awesome game. Platinum Trophy. Unlock all trophies. Prototype 2. Not myself. Again, beaten in 12 days. Probably 12 hours, to be honest. Yeah, I hate Prototype. Not a fan. But my roommate, who also hated it, Trophy Hunter McCloud.
Make a point.
Yeah, Platinum it to make a point. 100%ed it to make a point. Platinum, and the description is Platinum for Uncharted 3.
Wow, for a PlayStation exclusive game, you'd think there would be you'd have thunk that there'd be a name.
Apparently not. All-Star Legend. You've only done everything. You've successfully earned all other trophies in the game. Congratulations. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Omnipotence. Unlock all the trophies. Apotheon. Again, my roommate. Mytherian. Awakening. Dust. An Elysian Tale. Again, not myself, my roommate. Noble Achievement. Collect all trophies. Infamous First Light. That was me, baby.
Yeah.
Guacamelee. Platinum Trophy. Luchador #1 from Guacamelee. That was my roommate as well. Enjoy Your Powers. Collect all trophies.
That's
Infamous
a great
platinum
name.
And then lastly, again, my most treasured. Trophy Addict. Unlock all trophies. Hotline Miami.
That's insane.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun. I know that was a little long. I apologize, guys. Sometimes you just gotta really feel all the trophies that you got. Again, remember, guys, let us know in the comment section below if there are any trophies that you were really proud of. They don't have to be platinums. I mean, I've got a fair amount of gold trophies as well, and those can be pretty difficult. But just kind of putting that out there. So definitely let us know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Anything like that. Before that, Peaches.
Me.
Trophies.
Lord of Ironwrath completed season 1 of Game of Thrones. That is the Telltale Game of Thrones game. Next one, I love it. I wanted this platinum literally only because of the description, and of course, I love the game. Master of Mordor. One has walked in Mordor, and that's of course Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor. Chaingear hates this.
Hey, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
Virtuoso. Unlock all trophies. That's for Rocket League. All the Goat. That's for Goat Simulator. What the heck is that?
Someone didn't turn off their phone.
My mother's phone, thank you.
Oh, awkward.
Man. All right. All the Goat. That's for, of course, Goat Simulator. Full Moon. It's for the Wolf Among Us Telltale game. Fun Dead Legionnaire for Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. And I will platinum the second one. Just letting you guys know. And of course, Noble Achievement. Then there's The Walking Dead. Then there's Infamous 2 Platinum Trophy. Then The Walking Dead again. And my legendary Platinum Trophy is Platinum Trophy for The Elder Scrolls 5.
That's such a lame Platinum Trophy.
Like, really? Not Dragonborn? Not
To be honest, they might actually be called something else, and like True Trophies may just like not have it. You know what I mean? Like maybe they just don't have it in their database or something weird.
Description is collect all other 50 trophies for this trophy.
Yeah, who knows?
So yeah, Skyrim.
Nice. So you can tell, you guys can see, you guys can hear. We really love some of our trophies. We love some of them. We don't really care about. Some of them. I mean, I didn't even get half of them. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes you really feel feelings. That's what we're gonna talk about. Our complex feelings for trophies. let's talk about why we love trophies. Just real quick, I love trophies because it adds more to a game. It can add more to a game, right? Sometimes you beat a game, you love the game. I'll give you a great example. I'm a Machine, one of my favorite games of all time. Platinum games, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I love that game, and all about Raiden just running around with a sword, and I loved it.
The game definitely doesn't like us from their ridiculous trophy lists.
Right. Well, I love that game, and there were trophies, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna try and get these. Now they're hard. Platinum games are games. The hard modes on Platinum games are hard. They're very hard. They are not simple. They can get, especially Bayonetta. Say what?
They crush my self-esteem.
Yeah, I mean, Bayonetta was a really, really hard one. Just playing on the hard mode of Bayonetta was difficult for me. But I love it. It kind of gave me that. I mean, even if I didn't beat it, once I beat the game, I felt so good. But sometimes it can really add a lot to the game. Also, the number one thing is bragging rights. I mean, you want to show your friend. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, sometimes, I look at my friends. I'm like, how come you guys ain't got that level 19? How come? Hey, Chris, I see you played a little bit of. I don't know. Let's find something right. See you played a little Guacamelee.
That's such a great game. Just shout out to that game for being a great game.
Yeah, Guacamelee is great. Maybe not Guacamelee. I see you played a little bit of Resogun. How come you
own Resogun?
How come you don't own Resogun?
Nope. Played it on my roommate's PS4. Yep.
That was free. We got it for free.
Not when I had the PS4.
Oh, right. See, you late adopters. That's what happens. You miss out. Oh, anyway, hey, Resogun. Woo, Resoguns. Quality. Anyway, but you guys see what I'm saying. You guys love you get to brag. It's always nice. And then lastly,
as to why I love trophies. It's just a tiny one.
Yeah, go for it.
When it gets to my turn.
All right. I mean, last thing. I mean, just accomplishments. Sometimes, you really do feel great after you beat something and you get that platinum and you're like, it's done. I'm done. You wipe your hands clean and you're finished with the game and you feel really great about it. And that is, I mean, Hotline Miami, I beat it and I felt good. But once I platinumed it, I was like, I'm never playing this game again, and I'm okay with it. It felt great. I felt accomplished. No one could ever tell me I didn't play and enjoy and dominate at Hotline Miami. Still have not beaten Hotline Miami 2 yet.
Hard game.
Right, but it was a lot of fun. So, okay, Peaches, why don't you tell us about why you love trophies?
Let's talk about my petty one first.
Sure.
So I'm not good at online multiplayer. I mean, I'm pretty good, but I'm not excellent by any stretch of imagination. So I was playing Call of Duty like about 2 nights ago, and this guy kept killing me. I managed to I managed to win everything my team won, and I was actually able to get to the top of the list for the first time in Black Ops 3. And I was like, who's this guy that kept killing me? My nemesis, it was literally like 24-7. So like he killed me like a million times. So I was like, yeah, let's check your trophy list, brah. Level 6. Good job getting those Madden trophies. Psh, whatever. So it's able to boost my self-esteem for when I'm feeling bad in multiplayer. I'm like, I got more trophies than you. I'm better than you. I swear it.
That's a good one, right? That's bragging rights.
Yep, that guy still sucks because I beat his butt in the next game, but that doesn't matter. Because I also like the feeling of they're like, who's this guy? Yeah, well, he probably doesn't have a lot of. Oh wow, that's a lot of platinums. That's a big level. I'm like, yep, it is. Get out of my lobby. So, another reason why I love trophies so much is just like, I don't know, like I do love the bragging rights as much as the next guy. Of course I do, but it's just feeling of accomplishment. Nothing. I'm addicted to that sound. That little. Bling, bling. Can you play it? No, well, okay. It's because you have it as your text tone.
It's not my text tone. It's some other tone. But yeah.
But overall, it's just like I don't know. It just feels so good, especially when you stack it up to like another game that you respect and be like, hey, it's also a great way to collab for gamers to come together in inadvertent ways. It's honestly something that I use share play a lot. Be like, hey, Peaches, I'm having a lot of trouble like beating this boss. Can you help me out? And be like, yeah, sure. And then they get a trophy for it. I'm like, there you go. Like there are times where the self-esteem team will literally crack down for about 3 hours and be like, hey, we're gonna try to get all the trophies in Minecraft. We're gonna go up online and like go on like look up these walkthroughs and stuff, and we're gonna try to like help help each other platinum this game because it's a team effort, and also shows that like, hey, I did this with my friends, we did this together. It's an additive to my gamer persona as a whole. But yeah, you pretty much covered everything, like the bragging rights and everything, how it represents you as a gamer. Like, another reason why I love Trophy so much is that it shows your gaming personality. Be like, wow, this guy plays a lot of like Naruto fighters, or he plays a lot of like cool like JRPGs and stuff like that. You see like people's profile pictures, but you don't know who they are as a gamer, and maybe their username. I mean, if you're Sharingan XX whatever, then like, oh, that guy must play a lot of JRPGs. But like, you also see how diverse people are. Be like, wow, this guy not only plays Madden, but he plays Dark Souls. He plays like, I don't know. He plays like a bunch of stuff. You really
that's actually a really good point. Just a quick hop off moment since you mentioned that. A lot of my real, not real friends, but IRL friends, like my friends in real life that I meet, they're like, they'll come on PlayStation and they'll be like, hey, like, they'll do the real name request and friend request and stuff. They're like, hey, it's me from, like whatever. And I'll be like, oh my God, wow, like that person plays PlayStation. Who would have thought? And then I go on and I see what they play. Sometimes they play Call of Duty and Madden, and I'm not a huge, Call of Duty Madden person. I play a lot of RPGs, I play a lot of single player games, and the co-op games I play aren't usually super mainstream. Like, I mean, for example, The Division will come out, I'll play it, and my friends probably won't know what it is. I'm talking about the mainstream, gamers probably won't know what it is, and that's okay. But I get to kind of see what they play, and then every once in a while you see someone that like, plays Call of Duty, maybe plays Madden, but then also plays something like,
he 100% of Don't Starve? What the heck?
Yeah, right. Something really, really weird. Like why is that there? Or not weird, but just obscure. Like where did that game come from? And they're like, actually, I really, really like this genre of game.
That invokes conversation, doesn't it? Be like,
right.
Tell me about that game. Is it good? And you're like, I loved it, clearly.
Yeah, and I've definitely had that a lot, actually, with PlayStation. Some friends that I made a long time ago, back in like probably the very beginning of like my mag days, will message me and be like, wow, like, how is that game? Or like, I see you playing a lot of Blacklight. Or the second I hop onto a new game, people are like, whoa, you're playing a different game. How is it? It's got to be good if you're playing it. And I'm like, well, I just started, so I'll let you know. But that kind of stuff is definitely interesting. Good to see. But those are the reasons why we love trophies. I mean, a lot of community stuff, can be community stuff, bragging rights, achievements, or, accomplishments, I should say. And, it can add more to a game. But there are a lot of reasons why maybe we don't like trophies so much. Just a couple. Let me get started. You know how I said it adds value to a game? Sometimes it adds unwanted value to a game. Sometimes I don't want your trophies in my game. Sometimes I play the game, I want to beat it, and that's it. That's all. I don't want you in my face telling me, actually,
how come you got 3% on Hyper Neptunia Dimensions? I played the game for 15 minutes, dude.
Get out! Like, I don't, leave me alone. Like just so much. Sometimes I just want to play the game and beat the game and just be done with it. And when there's this number looming over my head saying, well, you only beat 34% of it, why don't you go back and those other trophies? I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe because your trophies suck, or maybe because I don't care, or maybe because, we'll get into stories later, but
a lot of DLC.
You know what? Actually, let's just put the stories in right now. For example, like the quick ones. We'll do them quick. The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. You all already know that. The Last of Us, I will never go back in and try and trophy hunt. Why? Because I love the game, and I don't want to go back in and like play the game again and feel all those feels and then start lessening the effect of it. I bought the game on PS4 after I had already beaten it on PlayStation 3. I bought the game on PS4 so I could play the game again and play multiplayer and play the DLC. I haven't touched it. I played it like a couple times for multiplayer. Still haven't played the DLC just because I don't want to get back into the game. I just love it so much. I don't want to touch it again. And I'm sure at some point I'll force myself to do it, but I'm not going to do it now. And I don't really want to do it. And that kind of stuff really bothers me sometimes. It's not nobody's fault, but just when I started that trophy ride, it was like, man, like I really feel like I need to platinum this trophy or platinum this game or get these trophies, but I don't want to go around, especially in Last of Us, where it was like go look around, the right, go over here and find this thing. And I'm one of those people that takes my time. My dad can't stand me playing video games because I go everywhere and look at everything. But still, sometimes I miss something. And when the game's like, oh, play the entire game over again, get to the 5th level, and then go up the stairs, and then go up, you see where there's nothing up there? Actually,
how did you know that there was a firefly pendant in that tree?
Why would I have looked up in the stupid tree? Stuff like that. That kind of stuff really bothers me. So anyway, unwanted value. Another thing is it created unwanted brand loyalty. I love PlayStation. I love PlayStation because of all the different types of games there is, because of the community. I love PlayStation because especially its diversity. I mean, the diversity of games allows me to try tons of different stories with tons of different people and tons of different mediums. Sure, it's all just video games, but there are different ways to consume a video game, and it's just all really amazing. And they're not stopping. With PlayStation Plus, they tried some really weird stuff before PlayStation VR. They tried some really weird things before PlayStation VR. They tried to use Move. They tried to do these other things because they wanted people to be able to try games in different ways, and I love PlayStation for that. I don't care about trophies, but unfortunately, at some point, I stopped playing other games because I knew I wasn't getting trophies. And it wasn't on purpose. I wasn't like, oh, I shouldn't play, especially games like PC or mobile. But I had a Wii, I had an Xbox, and 360, and I have this this PC that I built for gaming, and I don't play it because I know that I'm not going to get the trophies for it. And again, don't sit here in the comments and start telling me, Brandon, well, what are you doing? You built a PC. I know that. I know that I built it. But something in the back of my brain always tells me, like, there's not going to be a whing at the end, and it's not going to add up to my trophy count. And that's unfortunate, and I kind of hate that.
Let me reiterate your point of saying that, like, I played Downwell on my Surface or whatever, and I'm like, can't this just be on Vita so I can get trophies for it? And I lost all motivation to keep playing it.
Boom, done. Yep, I've played Oblivion. I just started playing it again. One of my favorite games of all time. I've seen you in my dreams. I love that game. I love that game. It's not on PlayStation 4. It's on PlayStation 3, and it sucks on PlayStation 3. I'm not going to go get it for PlayStation 3. I don't think it has trophy support for PlayStation 3. And I just love the game. I love it. And it just takes me so much effort to be like, yeah, here's my mouse and my keyboard. I'll play it for a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, I love this. And then I'm like, but the trophies must get controller,
Well, the
and
worst thing about Steam is that it comes in a tiny rectangle on the bottom, and you're like, oh, I got an achievement. What did it say?
yeah, and what's bad is that we're saying the worst thing about Steam. The worst thing about Steam is that their achievements are so small. Like, no, that's great. Don't get in my way.
Not sketchy developers, not people like trolling online, not the community.
Right. It's it's the fact that I can't see when I get an achievement, which is annoying.
I want the pling. Put in a pling.
It's so annoying. Sometimes there are times when I'm playing the game, it's like, pling. I'm like, why are you? No, go somewhere. I don't care. And that kind of stuff. That unwanted brand loyalty gets sad, especially for things where it bars me from being the kind of gamer I want to be. I like being agnostic. I like loving PlayStation for the reason I love PlayStation. But there was a time where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy an Xbox One because I had an Xbox 360 when I had a PS3. The only reason I stopped playing it was because
online achievement community for the Wii U. Where's that?
The Wii U has Splatoon. I've wanted to play Splatoon for a while. The Wii U has, of course, obviously one of the greatest brawlers of all time, Super Smash Bros. It's got, of course, one of the greatest racing games, well, not racing, but kart driving games of all time. Mario Kart, they've got awesome games. Nintendo's an awesome publisher. But I'm not getting it. I'm not getting no trophies. I'm not getting nothing.
Just be a third-party developer so I can platinum some Mario games already.
Do you see, right? I've said this so many times. Nintendo, drop out of the race and become a publisher and start publishing on PlayStation so I can get trophies. That's messed up. Granted, it is annoying. It is annoying that I do have to go get another console, but in general,
go to rehab.
So guys, that's another one. Sometimes there's a cop-out feel where it's like, it's a why are these trophies in here? This game isn't that good and it's not that long, but you guys added all these trophies to make me go back and replay it.
You want me to play your game for 1,000 hours? Get out of here.
Right, that's annoying. That's an easy one. And then the last one I think that is the most annoying is the opposite of feeling accomplished is not feeling accomplished. I loved the game, and I still do, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. I love that game. I loved every second of it. It was really great. It was a lot of fun. I mean, this kid's gonna laugh about it, and I could have chose a different game, but it's annoying when you're playing a game and something bars you from getting the achievement. You feel good about it. You are looking at it. You're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna 100% this. I can do that. Yeah. This, you know what? Why not waste all of my time in the world and try and go ahead and platinum this, even though I have a whole bunch of other games that I could play? Yeah, why not? Sure. And so that's what I do. I go out and I try and platinum this game. Well, it doesn't work because there's one trophy that has luck, that is luck involved. And that's really, really annoying. And then that makes me feel like...
And free a bunch of slaves, which are preordained, randomly spawned instances in the game. Jump on your mount and just kill all the orcs that you see, and free like 100 slaves. So I got that by accident when I was messing around, and that should never be the case for someone that has been working for hours to try to get this trophy. There should not be forums trying to like mess around with trophies that don't work. Hello, Fallout 4. I can't get my settlement to be 100% happy. Can't do it.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just one of those things where you don't feel good because you didn't 100% the game. When I love Shadows of Mordor, I love it, but there's an empty feeling in my chest about not beating it, and that's unfortunate. And it really, really, really makes me hate trophies. Anything else you want to add to why you don't like trophies?
It creates an inadvertent feeling of validation. Be like, oh, are you really an Assassin's Creed fan? I only see you got like 30% of trophies on this game. You don't know the circumstance. You don't know if they have like stopped playing that game or they're playing it on another console. Like, people don't need to validate their interest to you, okay? So it's like, hey, how come we only got like 2% trophies on The Last of Us? You don't know their situation. Maybe they watch the game on YouTube. You can, sure, I don't know. There's a whole different like air of circumstance there. One of them is like, one of them is just bitter. I hate it when games make you lock off a trophy for extreme difficulties, but again, that's just a personal thing. I don't think that's a bad stretch, a bad accomplishment by any stretch of imagination. Like, you beat all the difficulties, you deserve a trophy for that. But I can't beat Black Ops 3 on realistic. Are you kidding me? Skill. I'm gonna have to buy a modded controller. I'm gonna sit in the back, hook myself, and snipe everybody from the back. But then again, it kind of makes games, when you replay them over and over again, like beat it on normal. Games where you beat it on a higher difficulty and it doesn't unlock for lower difficulties, that pisses me off. You can't do that. But like games where you have to play over and over again to the point where you don't enjoy the game anymore because you already know the ins and outs, you start seeing flaws that you didn't notice before. Be like, I remember when I was playing The Last of Us trying to get all the collectibles, or when my buddy Brandon was trying to do the same thing. He was like, this texture looks weird. I'm like, don't say that. Don't, shut up. This game is perfect. Like, we can't like peel this thing open. And I never like having things feel like a grind. I don't like it when I platinum a game, I suddenly lose all interest in it. The only game that I platinum that I'm going to go back and keep playing is Rocket League. I love that game. It's fun. It's a great party game. But other games that I platinum, am I going to play like any of these Telltale games again? No. Am I going to play like Garden Warfare again? Not until the second one comes out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm tempted to go back.
That's a good point. One of my closest platinums, or one of my closest 100%s, it's only one trophy away. Blacklight Retribution.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those things where when I 100% a game or platinum a game, it's usually I'm out. I'm outie. I'm not trying to keep playing that game. I already beat it, and I have a catalog of games I need to beat. I won't stop playing Blacklight Retribution. That's not going to happen. But it doesn't make me stop sitting there going, developers, you should put more trophies in here so I can keep playing. And that's messed up, right? That's messed up for me to sit there and be like, yeah, you guys should add more trophies so I can keep playing instead of me just loving the game, which I do, and that's sad. I think that's
one last one. Judge you by platinum lists, because it's like, hey, this game looks all right. It's only like $12. It's on sale right now. Let me check the trophy list. Oh, there are only a couple of bronzes. Screw that. And then maybe you missed out on an incredible experience. Fun fact, a little bit of trivia for our friends. The president of Sony Computer Entertainment, Shuhei Yoshida, our beloved president, has only 2 platinum trophies. He platinum Hannah Montana, the movie, the game, and Bloodborne.
Pretty opposite games.
The story being is that the boys are kind of funny who were on PlayStation podcast Beyond with IGN. They noticed that he didn't have any platinum trophies. Like, you are the president. why don't you have any platinum trophies? Like, I don't know. I just don't, I just don't play games like that. And they're like, well, here, we'll send you this game. You play through it, you get the trophies. And he did it. So what a weird story. But also you're like, oh, wow, our president platinum Bloodborne, he's legit. He plays games. That is a tough platinum. It's something you gain an inner respect. But again, there's some games where I'm like, I'm not going to play this because the trophies are pathetic.
Yeah, sad. Yeah, it's definitely it's a sad thing. And I think one of the last things I'm gonna really say about this is just like it's just funny because a lot of this is like self-created. It's nothing inherent about trophies. Trophies don't come with this like trophies aren't a drug. The second you inject it, you're screwed. You know what I mean? Like it's not heroin. Yeah, I think it's more like it's more like
skooma.
More like what?
Skooma from Elder Scrolls.
No, skooma is terrible for you. You get addicted. Like it's an addicting drug. I'm talking more like a food. Huh?
Oh, that's an actually very perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like food because you have to eat. You know what I mean? You have to eat, and there are some foods that are better for you than others. There are some foods that make you feel really, really good. And when you as a gamer, you have to game. You have to game. And there are some games and some parts of games that make you want to go like, oh, yeah, I should keep playing this game. Just like when you're eating a cookie, you're like, I should keep eating these cookies,
Why did I eat eating that made me feel good, or I'm going to have difficult turds in a couple hours.
Right. And you don't want to eat your vegetables, and you're like, well, I don't want to eat I don't want to play this crap, It's like, and it's
not very good. I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, like maybe the game is really great, Maybe those broccoli is really good for you, but you're not going to eat them because they don't look good. Just like the trophies don't look good, and it's unfortunate, It's definitely unfortunate. And like I said, it's a lot of we brought this on ourselves by trying to trophy hunt in the first place. Some of my favorite games of all time didn't have trophies, and that was when I really, really loved gaming. The best time was probably right before trophies hit, honestly. Because I played Mag for hours, which didn't have trophies. I played, what is that game called? Valkyria Chronicles. There were no trophies.
It will have trophies.
Yeah, well, right. Which, is one of those things like, well, I guess I should buy it just to get the trophies. That's unfortunate, Like, I don't know if I'm going to like that game again. But I'll probably buy it to get the trophies. It's sad. It's just a sad thing. And it makes me upset. That kind of stuff, but who knows? Like, the funny thing is, it's not really that. Doesn't really take much precedent in my life now because I play a lot of Blacklight. And there are no more trophies for me to get besides the get to level 69 one. And I just have to keep playing to do that. And I don't play enough. I don't play daily enough. To keep generating that kind of XP. But sooner or later, I will get that, and it will happen. But there are a whole bunch of other games where I'll play them, and once I beat Metal Gear Solid 5, I probably won't feel like I need to get the platinum because the game was so long. I'm just going to be like,
game.
I'm not going to want to get the platinum of that. Hopefully, when I play The Witcher 3 and I love it so much, I'll probably just start. Granted, also really long, but if I beat it and I feel good about it and I'm not tired, then I might go out and get the trophies. Now, I don't know about these other games,
that was a game where I was like, I beat it. I'm like, wow, that was an epic adventure. I know I could play it again, try to get these trophies, but man, I'm done. That was just a great experience by itself. So, funny enough, it's just for your subscribers. My Blacklight Retribution trophy story is Changir. It was one of the busiest weeks that he's ever had, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be on Blacklight if you want to play with us, because you haven't been playing with us recently." And I was like, "Okay, sure." So I hop on, and I find a trophy. Taunt how many times during a single match?
Some do like 100 times in a match. It's not 100. I don't know what it is. It's a lot. Yeah, it's just swipe. Match. Just swipe.
Running around. Swipe. We're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Like, oh my god, they took over that point again. He was getting so frustrated. I'm like, yay! Yay!
Yes. Yes.
So it can be really annoying to people on your team when you're trying to get these multiplayer trophies. Like, what the heck is that guy doing? What are you doing? It's like, I gotta get the trophies.
And I think on the other side, this will probably be the last thing that I say. I think that before we hit last thoughts, we've actually been recording for quite a while at this point.
So lost time. That's all.
Yeah, good point. Good point. But yeah, I think the last thing that really I have to say is that there are trophies that I love. Getting that trophy in Hotline Miami felt great. I tried it. I didn't really, when I beat it, I felt good, but when it was to get that 100% and that platinum, it was like, yeah, that felt really good. But again, there are those losses of not being able to get that platinum or just giving up. At some point, you're just like, I don't want to keep doing this. Borderlands is one of my favorite games of all time, and Borderlands 2, I mean, and when I played Borderlands 2, there was 2 stupid trophies, and I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time and get these trophies. I could have done it, but it would have just taken all my time.
Platinum Borderlands 2.
And that's just not fun for me. There was just so much time I would have had to keep doing, and I had beaten that game 4 or 5 times. Playing New Game Plus, Vault Hunter, True Vault Hunter, Ultra Vault Hunter, and it was like ridiculous that I still had not gotten the 100% or the platinum. I was over it. But games, my favorite platinums are like Infamous Second Son and Infamous First Light. My favorite Infamous games, strictly because of gameplay almost. But it's just so phenomenal. I got those platinums. Didn't even know. I got those platinums at the very end. I beat I beat Delson's story as Infamous. So I was Infamous, Delson, and at the very end, the story ends, and I'm like, whoa, dude, that's messed up. If you have not played it, play it. It's on the Essential sale, the PlayStation Essential sale. Get it.
$9.
It's God, I love that game. Go get it. I might go buy it again just because I'm weird and I had it disc and now I want it digital. But it's
Bro, you're not going to play it. Don't do it.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm a grown man. I can pay for whatever I want and not play whatever I want. But it's awesome.
Walk in and be like, huh? How come that Second Son's not on your hotbar? Huh? You been playing that game?
No, because I played it again and I beat it again and I got the infamous trophy. It's a new trophy. It's called the Phantom Trophy when you get the trophy for beating. But it's awesome. I literally just beat the game. I beat it. It gives me the gold for telling me I beat it on Infamous, and then it gave me the as Infamous, and then it gave me the platinum for beating the whole game. And I felt so good because I didn't even try to get the platinum. It just happened. And that's how you know the game is right. You know what I mean? That's how it was just the best. And Infamous First Light, that one is a little more arcadey, and it just felt right. I just wanted to get it. And so there are some pretty awesome moments, and there's some pretty terrible moments. Playing DCUO, which is DC Universe Online, and learning that all the trophies are basically tied to DLC, terrible. Stuff like that. But it is what it is. Last thoughts. 5-minute wrap up. Go ahead, if you need 5 minutes.
I'm going to keep hunting forever. I say that, but there are games where I have to be like, turn my brain off. I'm going to sit down. I'm just going to play this game. I'm not going to think about trophies. And my experience is often better for it. And then after a streak of that, I'm like, okay, time to trophy hunt. And then it just feels even better. So all good things in moderation, right? Those are my final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, and it obviously depends on. My final thoughts are: know who you are as a gamer, guys. I mean, and we actually do plan on doing a podcast about this later as well, kind of our identities as gamers, and what that means, because that's tough. If you're, and especially when you guys are so young, figure out who you are now, and don't say this is who I am and stick to it, but don't let other people tell you how to play games. Exactly. If they're like, how come you don't have the platinum trophy? Because I don't care about your platinum trophy, man. Like, it's not about that. You don't have to be so mean, but I don't care about the platinum trophy, and so I don't want to, and I don't want to ruin the game. Why do you keep playing? I have people asking me all the time, why do you keep playing Blacklight? You have Black Ops 3. Well, I like Blacklight, man. I like Blacklight. I love Blacklight. That's where all of my family is. That's where all my friends are. That's where my clan is. That's what we do. Yeah, sure. Black Ops is fun, and I'll play it. I know. Actually, me and Peaches talked about it the other day. We're probably going to try and play some of the harder difficulties together. Probably going to start playing zombies a little bit together. Hopefully, when Phoenix gets back, we're definitely going to start playing more because he hasn't played in a while. So we're definitely going to start killing that. But Blacklight is where it all started for me, And so. Be who you want to be, and don't let trophies ruin don't let trophies ruin your life, but let trophies be what they are to you. If you like trophies, like them. If you don't like them, don't let them take over. And that's what is hard for me right now. Sometimes I just need to beat a game, and that's it. And that's really hard for me. Metal Gear Solid 5 have been really hard for me to beat because I can't just beat it. I gotta get everything. That's not even a trophy thing. There's just so much in Metal Gear Solid 5. But anyway, That's it, guys. This has been GearCast episode 10 on Chain Gear Gaming. I appreciate everybody coming to this 10th episode, the beginning of Chain Gear Gaming and the beginning of GearCast here in 2016.
Is there a contest winner you need to announce, or am I crazy?
Yeah. So we're gonna do
We'll do that in a separate video. How about that?
Yeah, it's been a long time. There are 2 contest winners. One is for GearCast, and one is for. I'm just gonna make this simple for you guys because it was complex last time because I wanted people to keep watching GearCast and try some new things. But instead, we'll do a GearCast giveaway through GearCast another time. There will be 2 giveaways. It will still be the same thing with GearCast and all that. Look for a channel giveaway soon. And I will announce the winners. There'll be 2 winners, and I'll send you guys your prizes. I really apologize for all this craziness recently, but back on our grind. Check out the order video if you guys have not seen that yet. It's called "Let's Join the Order 1886." It's just kind of an intro to that. Otherwise, there should be some new videos coming up soon. Actually, next week is going to be a lot of fun. I've got a whole bunch of videos planned. It's kind of a Blacklight week. We're getting back into Blacklight. It's been a while since I've done a lot of Blacklight content. I know you guys have seen a lot of Phoenix's content with Warframe. You guys got to see.
Get back at it.
Yeah.
Do the chain.
Holla at your holidays. You guys all saw all that. Some Fallout, some Battlefront, some Star Wars. So it's time to get back into Blacklight, and I hope you guys are excited for that, as excited as I am. We've got a whole bunch of stuff planned for 2016. Trust me, I was working on it all. Next episode, get ready. We're actually going to talk about the future of consoles. What? Is it time already?
I already pre-ordered my PS5.
Well, we're going to talk about it here next time on GearCast for Chain Gear Gaming. So, all right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like it if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. Share and subscribe for more awesome Chain Gear Gaming goodness. And, of course, to get that next episode of GearCast episode 11, The Future of Consoles. All right, guys. We hope to see you online, and we hope to see you on the next one. Leave a comment down below for what you guys are excited for next time. This has been Chain Gear. This has been Vampire Peaches. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.